This property next to us is renting for £1,500 per month. This property is renting for £1,600 per month. Our property right here, we're renting it for £5,000 per month.
And you might be thinking, how we rent this property out for £5,000 per month? What we actually are doing here is we list this property for £200 per night. We don't have normal tenants in this property, we actually have guests. Why would anyone want to rent this property out for £5,000 a month, you might ask? Now, the reason is because of convenience. Usually, tenancies in the UK range from a minimum of 6 to 12 months. But what about the people that want to stay in the property for 1 week? Or 2 weeks, or a month. But that's what we're here for. But Lena, why would anyone want to stay in this property for 1 or 2 weeks or even a month?
This house is in the heart of the city centre, meaning a lot of families are travelling around and they need somewhere to stay. Now, of course, the families, they could maybe stay in a hotel room, but imagine a family with children, they have kids running around everywhere, they want their own space. So would it be ideal if they stay in a hotel room, or would it be ideal if they find an Airbnb, a massive 3-bedroom house like this, where they have a living room, they have a kitchen, and they have multiple bedrooms where they can run up and down in and just relax for themselves?
Lena, it all makes sense, you're right. Let's have a look at the house. In all honesty, we're here today because you guys have asked for it. You know, you guys asked it here, here, and here. And today we're finally here in one of our 3-bedroom properties. It's one of the first properties that we actually took on. It's a 3-bed house in the city centre. We're going to be giving you a full transparent breakdown, so let's go have a look.
So we actually rent this property from the landlord and we pay him £1,500 per month. And the bills come to around £500, and that's water, business rates, electricity, and the gas.
Like Lena said, this property we rent out and then we rent it out again to guests for a nightly rate. This model is called the rent-to-rent model.
I know, and Uzma knows, that a lot of people think that the rent-to-rent model or subletting is illegal. Subletting is illegal, just like the people over here are saying. But Uzma, can you explain what we're doing right now is not illegal?
It would be illegal if we use the AST contract, which is a normal contract that maybe your mum or your auntie or a family might be using to rent out a place from a landlord. But what we do instead is we use a company-let management agreement.
And that's with the landlord's permission. So it would be very, very illegal if we did not have the landlord's permission. For all our properties, we ask first the landlord, please may we rent your property? Are we able to then sublet it out again to guests? And if we get their permission, it's not illegal.
The rent-to-rent model has allowed us to have financial freedom. When we first set this property up, we were working multiple jobs at the same time. But since we've scaled our property business, we have now left our jobs and we never have to work for someone else ever again. It has also allowed us location freedom because this job can be managed and systemized completely. And lastly, it's given us time freedom because it only takes a few hours a day once you've systemized it to manage it, which means that we can spend more time with our loved ones and our families.
The way we've been able to systemize this business and be able to run it remotely at the comfort of our own homes is by hiring cleaners. We've also hired maintenance guys, handymen, and if there's any problems in the properties, they receive the notification and they're in straight away. Every time a guest comes in and sleeps here and they then check out the next morning, the cleaners already know what to do. They come in, they spend about 2 to 3 hours turning the property over, so cleaning the property over and ready for the next guest. We are then sent the pictures of the clean. So they send us the clean before and after, how it looks, and if we're happy with everything, it's then suitable for the next guest to check in. So we actually have a broken light here. Now I could have covered this and hid it from you guys, but this is the reality of service accommodation and rent to rent. Sometimes you get damaged stuff like this. However, we already knew about this before coming into this house. The maintenance team, they took a picture of it and they said to us they'll order a new one and they'll charge it to us at the end of the month on the invoice. So that will be dealt with immediately before the next guest is in.
It's actually already on the way.
Yes, it is. So now we want to speak about how exactly we managed to get this massive 3-bedroom house. This was our second ever rent-to-rent deal that we got. When we got this deal, we were actually balancing our jobs on the time. So at the time, me and Uzma were working at 7 Trent.
We had our own side hustles as well.
When we were setting up this unit, for those that don't know, for Muslims, it was Ramadan. And during Ramadan, we have to fast. So when we were setting up this unit, it was very hot outside. Yeah, during that time we were fasting and it was very, very difficult. But we just had that, I just remember having that motivation where we have to get this unit done by this time so we can just get it on the market and then we're not wasting any money, we're not losing any money.
Yeah, I don't think people understand, but during Ramadan, it's very normal to be with your families. And we were spending every single evening where you're supposed to break your fast with your family, you're meant to eat with them, you know, you have that date and you have that water and you have like all the samosas, pakoras, all the nice lovely food. We were actually spending it alone by ourselves in this very cold house. We don't talk about this either, but we were eating really, really bad to the point that we weren't taking care of ourselves as well. But we knew that a lot of sacrifices had to be made. We knew that the next few years were definitely going to be worth it, and we had to sacrifice our temporary situations, which is not going to the gym, not eating well as well, not spending time with our families. And during the weekends we would actually come to this house. There was no furniture in here. We furnished this place from head to toe. It was a thin blanket on the floor and we shared like 1 or like 2 pillows. It was not comfortable at all. It was a lot of backaches. And in the morning, you know, we didn't have a lot of money, so we literally tried to find the cheapest breakfast or cheapest cafe to go in and eat. Those are the struggles when we first got this apartment, when we first started our business. But the situation now today is definitely very far from it.
How we got this property is that we actually first viewed the property 2 doors away from us, and unfortunately the landlord, our neighbour basically, the landlord, they did not want to rent it out to us because we seemed too small, we were 2 little girls, so the landlord just didn't trust us. Instead they went ahead with another older man.
The odds have definitely been against us throughout this whole journey, by the way. This is we did not get lucky at all.
After that, we stayed consistent. We didn't let that bring us down. So we actually found that there was another advertisement for this property. So straight away, while we were at our jobs, we decided to call the landlord and say, hi, are we able to view the property? We came to the property and then we pitched our script saying that we want to rent this property out on a nightly basis. Is it possible if we can do that? Of course, it was more harder than that. We had to explain a bit more, we had to persuade more, and eventually the landlord said yes.
It was a lot of relationship building. When you're getting into rent to rent, it's all about sales. Everything. You've got to persuade the landlord, you've got to build a good connection, you have to build rapport. A lot of that was involved, and on our way here, that's all that we had in our minds, to build that good connection and sell ourselves.
So this full unit costed us 5 to 6 grand to fully furnish. Now, we like going a bit over the top with the furniture because we want higher end guests to come and stay because they pay a more higher rate compared to the other Airbnbs in the area. So we did spend slightly more, but that allows us to charge more, and then it also allows us to get our money back faster.
You don't want to be in a position where you've just gone for everything secondhand. I mean, there's some things that you can get away with. If you try to be cheap with everything, just know that within less than a year, you're going to be coming back to your property, you're going to have to renovate everything all over again, and it's just not worth it. Just do it the first time, do it right, don't skip anything, don't leave anything out, make sure you do everything right first time round so you never have to come back here again, just like us.
This property took us less than 6 months to get our full investment back out, and that means that we're now able to recycle the money again and again and again. So I hope this video has given you guys a good insight of what the rent to rent model is and how you could potentially make a good cash flow from it.
We found that 68% of you guys watching this video are not subscribed. So please make sure that you guys do subscribe to the video to make sure that we can continue making more of these videos and giving more value to you.